It's one of the most fascinating business cases in Europe in the last 20 years, I believe. And so here's the key points. As many of you may know, the last 20 years have been transformational in the energy sector. This change came at the intersection of three things: regulation, which emerged from the European level from the push on liberalization and decarbonization to respond to climate change, which led a big transformation in technology with the emergence of solar particularly and wind as the technology of choice for new investments in the industry, which at the same time had to face an abrupt change in fundamentals after the economic crisis of 2008 to 2009. Energy is an attractive industry because the sites are limited and they're increasingly difficult to develop. So it's like real estate. If you have the site and you have the permits to operate, there is a value in the assets for the long term. The second is that there is more value that can be released when you buy it well than when you operate well. So it is important not to go extravagant in the acquisitions, but always remain disciplined. And the best way to do that is to look for assets with not a lot of competition when you buy them, and so try to be counter-cyclical. So I would like to leave you with this quote from the World Energy Forum that I think sums up everything that we have been doing. That is that the pace of political and technological change, or you can say regulatory, fundamental, and technology, is compelling organizations to strengthen their resilience against shocks and surprises. And I think that this is true for organizations, but also for individuals. As I was putting this together, I reflected also on what this means for executives like us, and like me particularly over the past 30 years of experience. And given that AESE is a school of such strong moral values, I thought it would be good to share with you some of these conclusions, which might be helpful for the individual reflection. So the first one is that your career spans over 40 years, so you really need passions and motivation to be successful. And at the end of the day, it's important that you find passion, motivation, motivator, and the compromise, because at some point in your career, it's not about how good you are at doing an Excel file, or knowing how to run a power plant, or knowing how to run a successful supermarket, but you become good because you're good at managing an organization and setting a direction. So to empower people, to motivate other people, you are your own tool. You are the tool that you're using. It's not knowledge, it's your person.